Gertrude Belle Elion, a remarkable woman who overcame the challenges of living and working in a man's world. Gertrude was born on January 23, 1918 in New York City. She was the daughter of two immigrants. Her father, who was a dentist, hailed from Lithuania, while her mother, a seamstress, was from a region in Russia that would eventually become Poland. Later in 1924, she gave birth to Gertrude's only sibling, Herbert. Upon graduation from a public high school in 1933 at the age of 15, Gertrude knew that she would attend college, but she had a thirst for knowledge in all fields and found the decision of choosing a major to be very difficult. However, in this same year, a monumental event proved to be the turning point in Gertrude's life. Her beloved grandfather died of stomach cancer. In her autobiography, she states, "That was the turning point. It was as though the signal was there. This is the disease you're going to have to work against. I never really stopped to think about anything else. It was that sudden." With this newfound determination, Gertrude attended Hunter College, majoring in chemistry. At the age of 19, she graduated with a bachelor's degree. However, she was unable to find a job in the laboratory. They would tell her, "You're qualified, but we've never had a woman in the laboratory before, and we think you'd be a distracting influence." Instead, she worked in many different occupations and took night classes until she earned her master's degree from NYU in 1941. Her major break came in 1944 when she was hired at Burroughs Wellcome as a senior research chemist assisting George Hitchens. At the beginning of her career, they studied how cells make nucleotides. This was a decade before the structure of DNA was discovered. Working in the laboratory, she was able to broaden her horizons to include biochemistry, pharmacology, immunology, and even virology. The majority of her research dealt with purines and composing compounds that would ultimately inhibit cancer cells. In 1950, Elion and Hitchens developed and tested diaminopurine on leukemia patients. This compound initially improved the health of the patients, but only to relapse at a later date. After this failure, they returned to the lab to produce 6-mercaptopurine, also known as 6-MP, and had initial success when treating children with leukemia, but they relapsed and often died. However, in manufacturing 6-MP, she was able to show that by making small changes, she could chemically fool the malignant cells. In the late 50s and throughout the 60s, they developed azathioprine, which is related to 6-MP, to suppress the immune system. It proved to be invaluable during organ transplants, and in 1961, the first successful kidney transplant was performed using azathioprine. They also synthesized allopurinol, which aided in the treatment of gout, chemotherapy, and was effective against several major diseases common in South America. In 1988, Gertrude Elion and George Hitchens were awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for their discovery of important principles for drug treatment. Although she was very appreciative of the Nobel Prize, she was quoted in the New York Times saying, "The Nobel Prize is fine, but the drugs I've developed are rewards in themselves." Gertrude lived a full and productive life and served as a mentor to many appreciative students. She was laid to rest on February 21st of 1999.